As we shared with you already, we're going to share for you what the IOC member Nita Ambani had to say on this announcement. She's spoken about what this is going to mean for the future of the Olympics and, of course, for the future of the country. Take a look.
Seeing that for spread of sports, particularly within the younger community, a lot of efforts going on. Olympic Value Program was one of them. Do you see that this is India taking strides in the world of sports?
Yes, of course, but I also see our Indian girls and young women taking stride in the world of sport, and that makes me really proud. I have seen with my women's team what struggles girls go through in getting onto that global stage, and we need to have no differentiation, whether on sports field or outside sports field, between our boys and girls. And what better way to set an example than our girls representing India and winning medals for them.
That is exactly what the Olympic movement also talks about, gender neutrality, and bringing...
Absolutely, yeah. And it's the most heartwarming part of being a sports administrator is to promote young boys and young girls in sports.
That commitment will continue, ma'am.
Yes, absolutely. I'm committed to it, and Reliance Foundation is committed to this.
All right, our Mumbai Bureau Chief Vinaya Deshpande, who's stationed there, she's been bringing us updates through the weekend. She joins us once again this afternoon to bring us more context. Good afternoon, Vinaya. Vinaya, big news for us. We've been talking about this over the weekend. This brings to conclusion a 2-year process for the ICC. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that process has looked like with the IOC finally making this announcement? And also tell us, when this actually does come to Los Angeles, how will this play out?
Well, yes, Toya, hello. A very big moment for the country, particularly for cricket fans across the globe. Yes, of course. And as you heard in that exclusive interview with Nita Ambani, she said how this deliberation was going on for quite some time now. In fact, it was a process that was continuing. The talks with IOC were also underway for quite a while. She talked about those negotiations. In fact, she herself is an avid cricket fan. She has been actively involved in cricket for the last 15 years, and that is where that stance came from, where not only was there an excitement in her with respect to the decision that has been taken now, but also what it means for sports in general, because remember, with respect to Olympics, it's a historic moment for India at this juncture. The Olympic movement itself has returned to the country after a gap of 40 years. This is only the second time that Olympic IOC meeting is happening in India. Moreover, at this juncture that this meeting is happening here, the fact that cricket was a part of the 5 new games which have been introduced now as a part of LA 2028 Olympics clearly means that this will be a new chapter for cricket as well. The ICC is excited. They talked about how, though the nitty-gritties of it are not yet decided, it still is a huge moment for cricket across the globe. What it means for the LA 2028 Olympics, though, Toya, is that the athletic quota will increase. Now, remember, there were deliberations about how this whole strategy is going to pan out in case new games are introduced, and one of the points of discussion was that the athlete quota will have to go up in case new sports are included. So team sports, individual sports, there is an increase in quota, and that is why we have seen now that the quota of Olympic athletes has also gone up. What it also means during LA 2028 Olympics is that the venues may have to go out of LA as well because of the new games that have been introduced. Now remember, a lot of these nitty-gritties will get talked about in the coming future, but clearly this is something that has brought excitement. US itself is excited about it. Eric Garcetti, the ambassador of US to India, spoke exclusively to CNN News 18, talked about how it meant a great deal for cricket fans in US as well, and that US was big on cricket too. So it's a win-win situation for both the Olympic movement as well as the cricket fans and the cricket stars, really 2.5 billion cricketing fans across the world. Some of the biggest cricket stars at a juncture when Olympics will also benefit out of that fan base. When cricket and sports content is being consumed, this will also mean that the younger generation that is being inculcated with the Olympic values will have more games really to look at on the Olympic platform. All in all, this is an exciting period really, and a massive boost at a time when India is already bidding to host Olympics, not just the 2036 Olympics but also the Youth Olympics by the end of this decade. So clearly a crucial moment for the country. Back to you.
Vinay, you touched on towards the end of your answer the other big takeaway from this weekend, the Prime Minister revealing India's bid to want to host the Olympics in 2036. Can you just tell our audiences what that process is actually going to look like? We know that the Olympics may not actually formalize the name until as late as even 2030. So there are years still to go. But what does the process actually look like?
Well, yes, Toya, there's a huge process that will have to be completed for it. The fact that the Prime Minister has put forth the aspiration, saying that it's the aspiration of an entire country. We already knew about the fact that India was in the process of bidding for 2036 Olympics, but the fact that he has put the hat in the ring for India bidding for the Youth Olympics as well clearly means that, India is in some sense trying to assert its power. In fact, it's not just this. It was very interesting to note what the Prime Minister talked about. He said how India has proven its own prowess when it came to global events, and how India has only been growing from strength to strength. So the recent Asian Games tally is something that he spoke about. He also spoke about how on an international platform, India had hosted several major events. The G20 presidency was a recent example that he gave about how multi-city programs were held across the country, showing the prowess of the country to host several international programs at a time when India is already showcasing its prowess into different fields. So sporting wise, we are seeing that this is a global moment for the country. We are seeing that India's athletes are going out, earning their medals, earning glory. At the same time, India throwing its weight in international associations like these ones to make sure that it's not just the athletes but even the athletic events that come to the country that will play a huge morale booster for the younger generation as well, to inculcate sporting values in them. So clearly this is something that India is looking ahead to. The process itself will take quite some time, but the Prime Minister has already spoken about it, about how India has successfully hosted several international events of late, and this will only strengthen India's bid. What one also needs to consider is the kind of considerations that the IOC has been talking about in the last few days, though it has spoken about the several criteria that will be taken into consideration before deciding the venues for sporting events. And currently climate change is being considered as one of the biggest challenges really. So one of the points that the IOC has put forth is that the venues that will be chosen for the coming Olympic Games, whether it be Winter Games or whether it be Youth Olympics, the places, the venues will have to be climate resilient at least till the middle of the century. So with all these considerations, deliberations going on, we will still have to wait and watch about how this entire process goes. But as we have seen, India has already thrown its weight behind its bid. The Prime Minister making it amply clear that the country would like to host the Youth Olympics by the end of this decade, and 2036 Olympics for sure. Back to you.
Vinaya, thank you for bringing us those updates. We'll keep checking in with Vinaya through the day. Let's move on though. Right now, let's take a look at what different reactions are here to this story. What IOC President Thomas Bach had to say. First, take a look.
Those who are against, please raise your hands. Is there more than one? If there somebody is too shy that I cannot see them, then no. Two. Then two against. Then against 2 votes. The proposal is approved. Congratulations to the Program Commission, and congratulations to LA 28 for this approval.
Huge day today for India, particularly LA 2028 cricket will be a part of Olympics.
No question. When I was mayor and fought and won the Olympics, one of the things I said to Casey Wasserman, my dear friend and chair, is let's put cricket in. I never dreamed I'd be the ambassador to India, the craziest cricket country in the world that goes mad for this incredible sport. And since I've been here in 6 months, I've gone to IPL matches, I plan to go to World Cup matches, but this is the greatest present that we could give not only to India, but to every cricket fan around the world. And to be here during the World Cup, 2 days after the India win over Pakistan is incredible. The sense that India is coming into its sporting own. The Asian Games, record number of medals, over 100 for the first time. The way that Nita Ambani has been an incredible representative of India on the International Olympic Committee and hosted it so well. I joked with some of the Olympic Committee members, you should just give them the 2036 Games. It's going to be great. And I told Prime Minister Modi, if you need any advice for winning the 2036 Games, talk to me. I won the LA Games for 28. It's a long journey, but I think one that India deserves.
What does it mean for US now that 2024 cricket is happening there, 2028 is also happening? How do you see it?
You know, for us, it's a great moment because it recognizes we actually are cricket fans too. We're a cricket country. We had the first international match ever was in the United States in 1844. And we love our baseball. We don't have to choose between baseball and cricket. I love baseball, but now count me as an ambassador who loves cricket.
Exciting, is it that finally cricket will be a part of Olympics LA 2028?
Yeah, well, it's been a long journey, but it's hugely exciting. Great day for the sport today, and it's really appropriate to have the sport ratified here in Mumbai, right in the middle of our marquee Cricket World Cup. So, yeah, very, very exciting.
Overall, looking at the fact that, the Olympic movement has returned to India after a gap of 40 years. Now, cricket, which is a huge sport following in India, is also a part of Olympics. How do you see this boosting India's image in the sporting arena?
Well, it's not just India. It's all members that are going to benefit from this, including India. So I think for the sport generally, it's a fantastic outcome, and for all 108 members. So yeah, I think it's a win for the cricket community and globally for the sport.
को बढ़ावा देने के लिए पूरी प्रतिबद्धता से काम कर रही है। साल 2036 में भारत में ओलंपिक्स का सफल आयोजन हो, इसके लिए भारत अपने प्रयासों में कोई कमी नहीं रखेगा। भारत साल 2029 में होने जा रहे यूथ ओलंपिक्स की मेजबानी करने को भी इच्छुक है।